J-Dev is back at it here to give everyone another Walking Dead Season 4 episode review video, but before I get into that, it's extremely important if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching The Walking Dead to pay attention to this episode title. I'll put that title in the description. If that's the case and you find out that you're not caught up, then I recommend that you don't watch this video any further, simply to avoid potential spoilers. This will be The Walking Dead Season 4 episode number 2. The title of this episode is called Infected. This will be my review, reaction, recap of the episode. Keep in mind, I've seen it a few times, just reviewing it for the channel to have every Walking Dead episode on the channel, as well as the fact that they announced that The Walking Dead Season 11 will be the conclusion of the main Walking Dead show. Probably not the conclusion of the Walking Dead story, so I want to get all these on the channel. So, late at night, a mysterious figure feeds a rat to a walker at the prison fence. Back in cell block D, a turned Patrick enters a cell and kills the man sleeping inside. After Patrick feeds on him, the man turns. Michonne goes to hunt for the governor, while Rick and Carl head out to tend to the pigs. Carl asks if he can help clear the walkers at the fence, but Rick shuts the idea down. He's going to shut that shit down, as Negan would say. Carl apologizes, but asks for his gun back. They hear gunshots and see Lizzie and Micah Samuels run out of cell block D, screaming for help. A horde of walkers has attacked and killed several members of the community. Michonne, trapped at the prison gates with two walkers, falls over a snare and is nearly overpowered before being rescued by Carl and Maggie. Inside the cell block, they clear out the remaining walkers, among them Patrick. They discover and eliminate another bloody-eyed walker, Charlie, in a block cell. After finding no bites, scratches, or wounds on his corpse, Dr. Caleb Sabranian, I think they call him Dr. S, recognizes the blood pouring out of Charlie's orifices as an indicator of a disease, and they link Charlie's sickness with Patrick's similar bleeding. Now, when informed by Rick of the death of Violet the pig and a sick boar discovered in the woods, Herschel notes that some diseases were spread by pigs and birds. Yes, that is correct, Herschel. They conclude that everyone in the cell block could be infected by an aggressive strain of flu, as Carl and Maggie carry Michonne back inside. Now, Rick approaches them and warns them to stay away from him and anybody else who may have been exposed due to the risk of infection. Carol tends to Ryan Samuels, who is Lizzie and Micah's father, who was bitten during the attack. Realizing he is dying, he actually asks Carol to take care of Lizzie and Micah for him as if they were her own, which Carol promises to do for him. Now, Lizzie and Micah say goodbye. Lizzie actually volunteers to stab Ryan in the head to prevent him from turning, but is unable to do so, leaving Carol to do it for herself. The council begins quarantining those known to be sick, including Karen and David. Now, Carol goes to talk to Micah and Lizzie as they stand by the fence. She bluntly tells Lizzie that she is weak, and in this world she cannot be. Lizzie begins crying that they kill them, referring to Nick. Lizzie runs away, and Micah explains that Lizzie is not weak but messed up. Beth wraps Michonne's ankle as the two discuss the group's losses. Beth muses about what to call a parent who has lost a child, as there is no word equivalent to widow or orphan. And Michonne begins to tear up but composes herself before Beth notices. And then Beth later asks Michonne to watch Judith. Despite Michonne's reluctancy, left alone with the baby, Michonne breaks down and weeps while holding Judith close. And that's the beginning of their bond, I guess. As the survivors bury the dead, a massive group of walkers converges at a single portion of the fence. Sasha points out the carcasses of the several dead rats at the fence, suggesting that someone has been feeding the walkers, which lures them and causes them to cluster together instead of spreading out. Now, despite the survivors' efforts to clear them, the walkers' combined mass causes the fence to begin to give away, And then Rick decides to sacrifice the piglets and uses them to successfully lure the walkers away from the fence. The plan seems to take an emotional toll on Rick. Meanwhile, the prison group is able to secure the fence with tree trunks. And then Carol again finds Lizzie and Mika near the fence looking at walkers. Carol warns Lizzie to not to identify with the walkers, but instead to take the time to grieve for and to let go of her father. Lizzie takes her knife from Carol's hand and puts it in her belt. Carl reveals Carol's weapons teachings to his father, asking that he not confront her, and then Rick complies. Rick returns Carl's gun and once again begins to carry his own. And then Tyrese visits Karen's isolated cell with flowers, only to find it empty, with blood trails that leads outside. The episode ends with zooming on close-ups of Karen and David's dead and burnt to shit bodies outside of cell block B. So that's the end of the episode. Pretty powerful stuff, and Tyrese is going to go crazy. With all that's going on this day and age, this episode, a little bit more extreme, obviously, reminds me of the situation that we have facing the world right now. And I actually like the episode more. Now, the first time I watched it, I probably didn't like it as much, but it was good. And also it ended with, like, what the hell? Who killed that? Who's feeding the rats? So I did like it. As far as the score of the episode, I'm going to give it an 8.6 out of 10. Not better than that, though. That's probably a little bit higher of a score than I should have gave it, but I think it's an interesting episode. As far as the character of the episode, I'm going to give it to Carol, although I thought about giving it to Michonne. Obviously, we had the powerful scene with Judith or Michonne holding and hugging baby Judith. We didn't know what was to come with that relationship. So you've heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn. So if you're a fan of The Walking Dead and you absolutely love this series, go ahead and smash that like button. If you know anybody else that would have any interest in listening or watching this, go ahead and share the video with them. Let them know to share it with other people that they know. Don't forget to leave me a comment. That can be about the episode, about the series, about future events in the series, your favorite favorite character of the episode, your score of the episode, whatever you want to talk about Walking Dead related. That is for the comments section. I expect to see lots of comments on this video. And of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to this channel, join the team, show your support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.